Joining us now is Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of Real Clear Politics. Tom, welcome back. Always great to see you. First off, your thoughts on the president's first formal news conference, a long-awaited one. How do you think it went?
You know, if I was giving Biden a grade, I'd give him a gentleman's C. I thought he did fine. He had a couple of flubs here and there. It was very scripted. He had a list of reporters that he called on when he was talking about foreign policy. He sort of referred to his notes constantly. But he didn't make any huge flubs. And certainly some of the things that he said went over well, although some of the things that he said, when you actually dig a little bit deeper, particularly on the immigration issue, I think deserve more scrutiny because I'm not sure they were completely on the level.
Yeah, and going back to the immigration issue, one of the things he was asked by one of the reporters, that was simply about, is there going to be more transparency at the border? And when he said, yes, there was, they asked when, and he really didn't give an answer. He basically said, I don't know.
Right. And that has been one of the things, again, it's impossible to view what's going on in the border and the treatment of this administration without putting it in the context of how it was viewed 2 years ago under the Trump administration, right? And the press was absolutely outraged. There was a nonstop daily, just torrents of outrage. Certainly not the case. I mean, the press is asking questions and some uncomfortable questions, but accepting the answers that the administration is giving, including the fact that they have had a virtual blackout, a media blackout at the border. And again, as you mentioned, the Biden administration president today said, well, we'll be transparent in a little bit when we get things set up. That's not exactly that's not an answer that would have passed muster just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. There was another question that really stood out to me. He was asked, if he's rejected bipartisanship, to which he said no. A lot of people might argue against that.
And he also said, when he was asked about the things that he wants to get done, his agenda moving forward on immigration, his $3 trillion spending plan, infrastructure and the like, whether he was going to be bipartisan. And he said, listen, I'll work with my Republican colleagues on the Hill if they want to be a part of it. If they don't, we don't have time to wait. And that's essentially the same attitude that they took with the COVID relief bill, which was, kind of there was lip service paid to bipartisanship, but at the end of the day, it was my way or the highway. And I think that's the stance that the president is taking moving forward with these other initiatives.
Yeah, Tom, if you had been allowed into that news conference, I'm wondering, what would you have asked?
Well, we actually had a reporter in the press conference, but he did not get a chance to ask a question. And we talked about what questions he might ask. And one of them was on immigration. Just a couple of weeks ago, Biden said, listen, I promise I will always tell you the truth. I will always be on the level with the American people. But the fact that his administration hasn't even been willing to call what's going on at the border a crisis, including the media blackout. And the question would be, have you broken that promise to the American people? Are you telling them the truth about what's going on, particularly when it comes to the issue at the border? That's the question that I would have liked to have seen someone ask. We didn't get a chance to ask it, and we'll have to wait and see if, at some point in the future it gets asked.
All right, Tom, thanks so much for coming on. We always appreciate your analysis. Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of Real Clear Politics. Thanks again.
Thank you.